Hello everyone. Welcome to Engineering Lad PH's Master Plumber Refresher course. Your trusted learning partner for Master Plumber Board Examination preparation. In this video, we'll be discussing the plumbing code. Let us start with problem set 1 part 1. Question number 1. A building has an approved plumbing system, but the owner proposes to discharge wastewater from a kitchen directly onto an adjacent open lot because the public sewer is temporarily unavailable. Which is the best determination under the plumbing code? A. Permitted if the wastewater is free from solids. B. Permitted if the discharge point is at least 3 meters from the building. C. Not permitted. Wastewater must be disposed of through an approved drainage/sewage system. D. Permitted if the administrative authority is notified. Correct answer. C. Not permitted. Wastewater must be disposed of through an approved drainage/sewage system. Section 301 prohibits disposal of sewage, human excrement, or other wastewater except through approved excreta and storm drainage systems installed and maintained according to the code. Question number 2. A 100 mm horizontal drainage pipe cannot practically be installed at the normal 2% slope because doing so would require excessive excavation depth. The designer proposes a 1% slope. Which is correct? A. Always prohibited. B. Permitted automatically for pipes greater than or equal to 100 mm. C. May be permitted with administrative authority approval. D. Permitted only for storm drainage. Correct answer. C. May be permitted with administrative authority approval. The normal minimum slope is 2% or 20 mm per m. A 1% slope may be used for piping 102 mm or larger when specified constraints exist and the administrative authority approves it. Question number 3. A 150 mm building drain is 27 meters long. If the code permitted minimum slope of 1% is approved, what is the minimum elevation difference between its ends? A. 0.135 meter. B. 0.270 meter. C. 0.540 meter. D. 1.350 meters. Correct answer. B. 0.270 meter. Question number 4. A 76 mm horizontal drainage pipe is 18 meters long. Assuming the normal minimum slope applies, what is the required fall? A. 180 mm. B. 240 mm. C. 360 mm. D. 720 mm. Correct answer. C. 360 mm. Remember, normal slope equals 2% equals 20 mm per meters. Question number 5. A horizontal drainage pipe changes direction by 90 degrees. Which arrangement is generally most appropriate? A. A sharp 90 degrees sanitary fitting. B. 245 degrees fittings or an approved long sweep arrangement. C. A standard short radius elbow. D. A cap T. Correct answer. B. 245 degrees fittings or an approved long sweep arrangement. Drainage changes of direction should use approved fittings incorporating the recognized sweep angles, such as 45 degrees, 60 degrees, and approved longer sweep fittings. Question number 6. A horizontal branch connects to another horizontal drainage line. Which fitting is most appropriate? A. Straight T. B. 90 degrees elbow. C. 45 degrees Y or combination Y and 1/8 bend. D. Cross fitting. Correct answer. C. 45 degrees Y or combination Y and 1/8 bend. Remember, horizontal to horizontal drainage connections use approved Y, combination Y and 1/8 bend, or equivalent longer sweep fittings. Question number 7. A vertical drainage pipe connects to a horizontal drainage line. Which fitting arrangement is generally permitted? A. 90 degrees sanitary T only. B. 45 degrees branch or approved longer sweep fitting. C. Straight T installed horizontally. D. Cross fitting. Correct answer. B. 45 degrees branch or approved longer sweep fitting. Remember, vertical drainage lines connecting to horizontal drainage lines are connected through 45 degrees branches or other approved longer sweep fittings. Question number 8. A rural building has plumbing fixtures, but no public or private sewer available. What is the proper code approach? A. Discharge wastewater to the nearest creek. B. Discharge wastewater to a roadside drainage canal. C. Connect to an approved private sewage disposal system. D. Use a storm drain. Correct answer. C. Connect to an approved private sewage disposal system. Remember, where a public/private sewer is unavailable, the building's excreta drainage piping must connect to an approved private sewage disposal system. Question number 9. Which substance is specifically prohibited from being deposited into a plumbing fixture or drainage system? A. Potable water. B. Ashes, flammable liquids, poisonous liquids, or materials that may damage the drainage system. C. Diluted soap water. D. Ordinary wastewater. Correct answer. B. Ashes, flammable liquids, poisonous liquids, or materials that may damage the drainage system. Remember, Section 306 prohibits materials such as ashes, cinders, rags, flammable, poisonous, or explosive liquids, and other substances capable of damaging the drainage system. Question number 10. Industrial wastewater is potentially harmful to a public sewer system. What is the proper course? A. Discharge it directly after dilution. B. Discharge it into the storm drain. C. Treat it as required before discharge. D. Store it indefinitely. Correct answer. C. Treat it as required before discharge. Remember, industrial waste detrimental to public sewer systems or treatment plants must be treated and disposed of as directed by the appropriate authority. Question number 11. Which statement is correct regarding galvanized steel or galvanized wrought iron drainage piping? A. It may be installed underground without restriction. B. It may be installed underground if painted. C. It shall not be used underground and shall be kept at least 152 millimeters above ground. D. It may be used underground only under concrete. Correct answer. C. It shall not be used underground and shall be kept at least 152 millimeters above ground. Remember, Section 701.1.1 prohibits galvanized wrought iron or galvanized steel pipe underground and requires it to be kept at least 152 millimeters above ground. Question number 12. Which condition prohibits the use of vitrified clay pipe? A. Below finished ground. B. In gravity drainage. C. Above ground or where piping is pressurized by a pump/ejector. D. In building sewers. Correct answer. C. Above ground or where piping is pressurized by a pump/ejector. Remember, vitrified clay pipe is not permitted above ground or where subjected to pressure from a pump or ejector. It must be kept at least 0.3 meter below finished ground level. Question number 13. ABS and PVC DWV piping in high-rise buildings may be used when A. Automatically permitted without conditions. B. Approved solely by the owner. C. Their use is at the discretion of the master plumber/designer and with owner's consent. D. Used only for storm drainage. Correct answer. C. Their use is at the discretion of the master plumber/designer and with owner's consent. Remember, the code provides for ABS and PVC DWV use in high-rise buildings subject to the discretion of the master plumber/designer and owner's full consent. Question number 14. A drainage fitting is proposed whose interior waterway is substantially smaller than the pipe it serves. Which is the best code interpretation? A. Acceptable if the fitting is cheaper. B. Acceptable if the pipe is oversized. C. Generally unacceptable because drainage fittings should have a smooth interior waterway of the same diameter as the piping served. D. Required for pressure drainage. Correct answer. C. Generally unacceptable because drainage fittings should have a smooth interior waterway of the same diameter as the piping served. Remember, Section 701.2 requires drainage fittings to have a smooth interior waterway corresponding to the piping served. Question number 15. Which type of fitting should be used for screwed drainage pipe joints? A. Standard pressure fitting. B. Recessed drainage fitting. C. Compression fitting only. D. Cap fitting. Correct answer. B. Recessed drainage fitting. Remember, screwed pipe drainage joints require recessed drainage type fittings, and bed pipe ends must be reamed to full bore. Question number 16. Why must a bed end of drainage pipe be reamed? A. To increase pressure. B. To reduce pipe diameter. C. To restore the full bore and minimize obstruction. D. To increase the pipe slope. Correct answer. C. To restore the full bore and minimize obstruction. Remember, reaming restores the full internal bore and prevents unnecessary restriction of drainage flow. Question number 17. A PVC drainage pipe is connected to an incompatible metal drainage fitting without an approved transition. What is the primary concern? A. Pipe color. B. Compatibility and integrity of the plumbing system. C. Water temperature only. D. Fixture count. Correct answer. B. Compatibility and integrity of the plumbing system. Remember, drainage fittings must be compatible with the pipe material used. Question number 18. Which combination most completely represents a plumbing system under the code? A. Water pipes only. B. Fixtures only. C. Potable water supply/distribution, fixtures, traps, sanitary/storm drainage, vents, building drains/sewers, and related appurtenances. D. Sewer pipes only. Correct answer. C. Potable water supply/distribution, fixtures, traps, sanitary/storm drainage, vents, building drains/sewers, and related appurtenances. Remember, a plumbing system encompasses both supply and drainage components and associated fixtures, traps, vents, drains, sewers, connections, and appurtenances. Question number 19. A contractor argues that a plumbing installation is acceptable because it is common local practice, even though it conflicts with the plumbing code. Which principle governs? A. Local custom. B. Contractor preference. C. Code requirements. D. Material supplier recommendation. Correct answer. C. Code requirements. Remember, accepted construction practice cannot override mandatory code requirements. Question number 20. The fundamental purpose of plumbing regulation is best represented by A. Minimizing pipe cost only. B. Maximizing water pressure. C. Protecting health, sanitation, life, and property. D. Increasing construction speed. Correct answer. C. Protecting health, sanitation, life, and property. Remember, plumbing regulation exists primarily to protect public health, sanitation, safety, life, and property. Thank you for watching. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay updated in Engineering Lad PH's Master Plumber Refresher course. See you in the next video.